Okay, today we are talking about the angle addition postulate proof. Okay, so we're given this proof right here that says prove x equals 10. Okay, refer to prior knowledge and current vocabulary to fill in the reasons side of the proof. Okay, so like always, here's our problem. We have the measure of angle ZHI equals 55 degrees and the measure of GHI equals 165 degrees. Find the measure of GHZ. So that's our problem. And remember, we've talked about that when we're given a problem, sometimes in the form of a picture, when we do our proof, this is going to be our given. Now, our given might not always be the problem. It might just be the parts, etc. But whatever they give you, you should typically write as the given. Now, just like we talked about in segment addition, we're going to have parts and wholes. So let's label our picture before we dive into the math of this problem. So it said ZHI, which I'm going to highlight in blue here with my blue pen, is going to be 55 degrees. And then GHI, which we see is the big angle here, or the whole angle, is 165 degrees. Okay? And so we're looking for GHZ, or we're looking for this part right here. That is my X. Okay? So notice the terms I used. I highlighted my parts and I found my whole. So using the formula part plus part equals whole, which is the angle addition postulate, I can then plug in my pieces. Remember, you always want to start with letters before we switch and substitute in the numbers. So let's start with our letters. So we have the measure of angle ZHI plus the measure of angle GHZ is equal to the measure of angle GHI. Okay, it's important that we have the little m because that means the measure, which means that we're looking for the value of the angle versus just talking about the angle in general. Okay, and remember that part plus part equals whole. Since we're talking about angles, this one is going to be the angle addition postulate, not to be confused with the segment addition postulate, which deals with segments. Our next step is now to replace these words with numbers. So ZHI was 55 degrees plus GHZ we said was X, and that's going to equal my whole, which is 165 degrees. This is substitution. Okay? Now we have our algebra problem, so our next step is to subtract. We'll do some blue to show. Subtract 55 from both sides. And the resulting value is X is equal to 110, which is subtraction property. This is the substitution property, not my property. Okay? Notice that our answer does not match what we were looking for. Okay, we're trying to prove that X equals 10, and we got 110. Okay? This means that we probably made an error writing down what we actually got our final answer to be. So a proof is a good way to check and see if your answer is correct. Now our math is correct and our reasons make sense, so we're going to go ahead and fix this and say that we were actually trying to prove that X equals 110, and that it concludes this angle addition proof.